Who'd King Arthur roll with? It was King Arthur and some other people.
The Knights of the Round Table.
Okay. So King Arthur hung out with the Knights of the Round Table. The reason why they're called knights is because they are dark skin. Because we have skin like night. So King Arthur's knights were all people like Sir Morian. And remember, a dark-skinned person is called a Moor, and his name is Morian. And he's dark-skinned. And when you do research up until slavery, and then you go to them taking Africans out of slavery, or putting Africans in slavery, if you go 24 hours past the part of us being enslaved, you would find out that the history calls us Moors. And then everything after we were put in slave, they call us black people, Negro people, colored people, African American, Trinidadian, Jamaican, Ethiopian. They call us all these labels and never call us Moor at all, ever. But they'll call us all these other labels. And the reason why they don't is because Moor has political ties to every single landmass on the planet. So once you identify yourself, once you find out your purpose, once you're in tune with the universe would guide you on your purpose. Just like Sir Morian's purpose was to be this is like one of the only pictures they have of a statue of a man that was around during King Arthur's time. That looks like that. They have pictures of everybody else. Right? Because the idea is to erase us from history. But they're not erasing us from history physically because they can't defeat the Moors. But if they erase you from your history in your mind and have you be everything else except who you are, then they just sit back and reap all the rewards, which is your land, which is your government, which is why they tax you when you voted for them. Like you vote for them. And then they're going to tell you that they can't do something or they could do something when you're the one that voted for them. You should be the one giving them orders on what to do. But if the people aren't calling themselves what they're supposed to call themselves, look at the Sri Lankans. Sri Lankans had a problem. Sri Lankans went on the gardener, shut down the gardener. Like shut down the gardener. There was no police coming out beating those guys with billy clubs, fire hose. There was no shooting them down. There was no aggression. By the same people that we say are racist, and Sri Lankan people have brown skin just like us. So how come they're not racist against those guys? But if we just go on the corner right here, you see how fast all these bees come. Because we're in a priority neighborhood. Purpose. Everything has its purpose. Lil Wayne has his purpose. Lil Wayne's purpose was to get youth mans, right, who are so-called gangsters and thugs and whatever, to wear their pants down here so police could catch you. Simple. Purpose. None of these guys, nobody, I don't care who you are, I don't care how much muscles you got, if your pants aren't on your waist, you can't run.
Okay, but the Lil Wayne thing, that's an assumption. You don't have exact facts to say that.
The fact is that nobody was wearing their pants like that until he started doing that.
And it's prison clothes.
Think about that. Think about before Lil Wayne came out, how everybody's pants looked. And then after he came out, all of a sudden everybody has pants down here. And you're wearing a belt, which means that you're an idiot because your belt is supposed to have your pants on your waist. That's why you wear a belt. Like if you look up belt in the dictionary, it says that it's going to go inside the loops, and then it's supposed to keep your pants on your waist.
What's that waist?
Everybody has a purpose.
What's a waist?
Some people let people guide their purpose. Like all these people that are in the public eye that everybody wants to emulate. Like a guy's gonna go, he's gonna go to the store, purpose. You never seen anybody wear hats bigger than their head until rappers started wearing hats bigger than their head. It's idiotic to the world. You wanna know why everybody's racist against black people, and how come black people get treated like this, and how come black people get treated like that? Because of how we don't respect ourselves. And it's not even like you're wearing the pants down here with like 2 pants or 3 pants. Some mans have their straight boxers and that's it. Under their boxers is skin. They want to be bending over, picking up stuff in front of people, leaning over people, and putting drawers in man's face. Right? Like that's how real it is. And specifically because it's like I'm gonna look at it like this, right? I'm gonna put it like this. I know for a fact, right? Like me and Sister Cole have been building for a long time, you know what I mean? I know that this organization has been doing certain work in the community, right? And they have certain things in place, right? As an outsider, because all I know is Sister Cole, that's it. And I just know about the organization. I know that because they're dealing with Harriet and Tubman, it's discipline, right? But I know that the people that are on this side of the room were the people that's been here longer, and they're actually on the frequency of what Harriet Tubman brought. And then the other side is the new people who don't really know what's going on. You know what I mean? They're still trying to test out the waters and whatever the case is. But the reality is, right? The reality is that someone had a purpose to actually consider Harriet Tubman as the person to use, as the example for the people who are in this organization to follow. Right? And Harriet Tubman, she didn't play. Right? Frederick Douglass, they didn't play. They weren't ramping like we ramp. We're loafers. We claim that we want our freedom and we want to be free and whatever, but we don't want nothing. We want to be up in some FEMA concentration camps and some whatever concentration camps that they got to put us in. Because we're the only ones that they're going to be putting in those camps. They're not putting their own, they're not trying to get rid of any other race on the planet other than people who look like us. Because if we're unified with a purpose, the structure is going to collapse. And this is for ones who are on the frequency, you know, to have a sponge mind. Right? So, Frederick Douglass, last name is Douglass. Douglass is a family of Moors from England. Family of Moors. And Douglas comes from Douglas. Right at the bottom. D-U-B-H-G-L-A-S-S. And they were Moors. They weren't called black people. They weren't called African. They weren't called none of those names. They were called Moors. And there's family crests in Europe. Right? In ancient times, the family would have a symbol to represent it. Every European family symbol, every European name, they have a quote-unquote black person on their coat of arms. It is also possible that the formation of this universe, the evolution of life, and the rise of consciousness happened in accordance with some kind of purposeful creative process. So even the fact that, you know, think about it, how come the universe is just vast? What's the purpose of a sun? Now what's the purpose of a sun? Why is it there, sitting there, and it's been sitting there forever? It's just like the first picture. What's the purpose of a pyramid? 50-ton bricks? Millions of bricks? Like 50-ton bricks. Pyramid bricks. Pyramid that they show you on the Discovery Channel and say, yeah, black people, Egyptians built the pyramids or whatever. The weight of the bricks was 50 tons. What's the purpose of building that? So it's there forever. But it's there forever, but it had to have some other purpose than just being made, so it's there forever. Some people say, and you could research this, some people say that the pyramids all over the world, because there's not only pyramids in Africa, there's pyramids in America, there's pyramids in China, there's pyramids in places not Africa that are bigger than the ones in Africa. Pyramids were built to keep Earth from floating off into space. Pyramids were built to keep Earth from floating off into space. Now think about the mentality you have to first of all know that Earth's going to be floating off into space, and that you need to build these pyramids all over the planet in order to stop that from happening. Purpose. What's your purpose? Because if somebody's purpose is to build a pyramid so the planet doesn't float off into the universe, you better be doing something other than being a nigger. You better be doing something other than going to school and skipping school, hanging out in the hall in the school, and the teacher that you're skipping class is just passing right there. Like, it doesn't make sense. Right? Purpose. There's a reason for everything. Your mom's not just telling you go to the store, go buy milk just because she needs milk. It's to teach you responsibility. That's the purpose of the thing. Let's get to Harriet Tubman quick fast. So at 13 years old, while defending a fellow slave who tried to run away, her overseer struck her in the head with a 2-pound weight. This resulted in reoccurring narcoleptic seizures or sleeping spells that plagued her the rest of her life. In 1844, she married John Tubman, a free black man. Shortly after their marriage, she hired a lawyer to trace her mother's history as a slave. The lawyer discovered records showing that her mother had been briefly freed because an earlier owner had died without making provision for her. Apparently, nobody told Harriet Green that she was free, and a short while later, she was returned to slavery. This discovery haunted Tubman. So her mom was a free, so-called free slave, as they say, or free black person. So she was free, she wasn't enslaved. This is in America. And the only people who were free in America were the Indian tribes. Those are the only free people in America during the time of slavery. So Harriet Tubman's mother, just like Noble Drew Ali, dark skin, nappy hair, big lips, big nose, was born to Indian tribe. And if she was born to an Indian tribe, that means she never came here on a slave ship. She was already in this land, and she looks just like us. And her purpose was to get her people from out of slavery. Her purpose was to get her people out of slavery. Those that believed that they were slaves. 'Cause she said that she would have saved a lot more if they only knew that they were slaves. And she's the prototype of